Hi, this is Darcia. Welcome back to my channel. I didn't post last week. It was kind of it was a really hard week. I just wanted to let you know a little bit about what it was like to have my 7th week post-op for rotator cuff surgery. I've had a pinched nerve ever since my 6-week post-op, and what that has done is I started noticing that my hands were getting, the hand on my operative side, which is my right hand, it was starting to get more swollen than my left, and the swelling is unusual, and the color, there was a little bit of a color change from my right to my left, and sometimes it would be cold while my left hand would be warm. It just was not the same. And then in addition to that, there would be throbbing, and it would just throb and throb and throb. And sometimes it would wake me up in the middle of the night or early in the morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep because it was just so painful. I went and saw him a week and a half ago, and they said, please don't do any more exercises. Something's real stirred up in your shoulder. So they did some neck traction, and they're pulling. Instantly, the throbbing and kind of this burning, throbbing pressure in my fingers went away. They're like, yeah, it's a nerve. It's a nerve that's gotten pinched. I have understood that pinched nerves usually only last a couple weeks, although I know that sometimes they can last longer than that, and I'm about a week and a half in, so I'm really hoping that that will get better. They want me to now concentrate on trying to unpinch this nerve, so it's meaning that my progress is going to be so much slower. They said it was my brachial plexus, some nerve in there had gotten pinched. I don't know what that means, but that's where it's at. And so they said, so to loosen this, they said I can do like shoulder, even that, like really, I can really feel it like in the front, anterior. I feel that a lot. But they just said do some shoulder rolls, and you can go both ways. And then they said as long as I'm holding I told the physical therapist, I said I'm afraid that I'm gonna like pull my stitches or whatever they are, the repair in my rotator cuff. And he said as long as you are kind of holding your arms, this, kind of holding on, or you can put your hands in your pockets, he said, you won't hyperextend it. You won't go back too far. So he just suggested kind of throwing your shoulders back, like stretching them back, like you're trying to touch your shoulder blades together, because what that's going to do is open up this whole chest area. And so that's what I've been trying to do, and it does have a real nice pull. I don't really want to pull it too much, and he cautioned me against doing too much of a pull. He says anytime you're pulling, it might fire up the nerve even more, and you'll feel worse instead of better. Another thing he said to do, hold on, I'm thinking, tilt my head and stretch my neck, but don't really stretch my neck. Only take it to the point where it's going to stretch and then stop, because you don't really want to stretch. So you want to just have motion without that stretch. The stretch, he says, can fire up my nerve some more, and it's not going to help my pinched nerve unpinch. So anyway, so just take my neck as far as I can without feeling that pull. And so just kind of feel that, and I can already, my neck is tight and I can feel that pull. So some background behind this, when I had my when I had my injury to my shoulder, it was 4 years ago, and I, at that point, also injured my neck, and it was kind of like I got extra, I don't really want to say lucky because that makes light of it, but I was extra injured. I feel like my neck is mostly healed, and if I don't stress it out, if I don't do much to my neck, if I don't really jar it, it's okay and it doesn't hurt me. I had a pretty severe disc herniation in my C-spine, and then I'd had some nerve issues at the time of that injury. So all of that has kind of settled down. But with this surgery now with my shoulder and doing kind of those, remember last time in my last video, go check it out if you haven't seen it, I'm kind of punching up to the ceiling. You can kind of see me punching up with activating my shoulder, and that fired up the brachial plexus, is what the physical therapist had thought. And so he says, please don't do that again. I'm not going to. Because of combination of having my neck injured, and it's a combination of the surgery and maybe wearing the sling. It just was more than my neck could handle. And so that kind of like very tenuous balance that my neck was on, it kind of pushed it over the edge. And so now I have to deal with that. So now going forward, I am going to have physical therapy where they're going to really concentrate on my neck and my shoulder to try to bring both along at the same time. And it sounds like my physical therapy will be slower. I will recover slower. They want to make sure that I don't have any more neck issues. So I just wanted to hop on and share this with you. I don't know if you guys have ever had a pinched nerve before. Just comment if you guys have ever had any shoulder surgeries or pinched nerves or whatever. How long did it take before that felt better and unpinched and you were back to how you'd been before? Did you have physical therapy? I'd love to hear about it, just because I think that that's really helpful. Sometimes when these kind of traumatic things happen and I'm wondering, why is my hand swelling? Why are they different colors? Why is it hurting so bad? Did I re-injure my shoulder, which has been from the get-go, and I've shared with you that it's been really like my number one fear. Am I going to tear my shoulder again? And I'm so, I don't want to be afraid of doing it. I can't stop living my life, but I'm so careful that I thought, shoot, I've been so careful and I tore my shoulder. So it sounds like I haven't. So that's good. I'm glad about that. But I just have to unpinch my nerve. So I'm going to be doing those stretches. I'm going to try to open up my shoulders here and my chest. I am going to do my shoulder rolls. I'm going to tilt my head gently to the side and see if that will definitely help. I am going to continue to ice. I'll take ibuprofen as needed, and we'll see how I feel. Another thing I've been doing in the last couple of days that I wanted to mention too is that for the swelling, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't having just trouble, because it's just down all the time, it's hanging, because I can't do a lot of active range of motion because it fires up that nerve. So then how do I get my hand moving so it's not dependent, hanging down all the time and just swelling? Because it's hard, they call it venous insufficiency. It's hard for your veins to kind of shunt all that blood back up to your heart, traveling from your fingertips all the way back up. And so it's like typically with your hands, your hands are up, you're doing things, and it's no big deal. But with the arm that's kind of just down all the time, blood and fluid or whatever it is just kind of pooling in your fingertips, and that's the swelling. So at nighttime, I've been putting a pillow and kind of like resting my arm on a pillow at night, and that forces my hand to be above my heart. And so anything that you can get physically above your heart, gravity will help your veins pump all that blood back to your heart, and it will really help decrease swelling. So that's kind of a tip for any appendage that you have that might be swelling. Just get it above your heart, and that will help, because I noticed that when I woke up in the morning, I didn't notice any swelling in my hands. And so that also does help with pain, because swelling does create some pain also. At this point, I'm just feeling thankful that I don't really wear a sling ever now. It's really nice on my neck to not have that kind of pulling me all the time. I love that. I appreciate if you guys would just wish me well in getting that nerve feeling better and in continuing with my therapy. And I just appreciate any thoughts and prayers that you have, and then if you guys have any situations with your shoulder or pinched nerves, let me know. There's a comment section at the very bottom of the video, so just put something there. Let me know that you are thinking about me, or that in a way that maybe I could help you, and we'll just go through this together, and eventually healing will come. I know this video might have seemed a little bit less exciting, maybe, because it seems like I took a bit of a step backwards this last week, and I don't like that, but sometimes that's life. And sometimes we don't charge ahead all the time. Sometimes we stop, sometimes we take a step back and kind of regroup. Honestly, I hope that does encourage you, because I feel very excited that the physical therapist doesn't think that my shoulder's injured. It's just a pinched nerve. So we'll fix that eventually. And it might be slow, but we'll get there. And so just be encouraged that whatever it is that you're going through. I'm so sorry if you're in pain, and I hope that that will pass and that you'll move on very soon to another season where that will be just a memory. With that, I will see you next week.